Hello, third graders. Happy Tuesday. Today is September 22nd, 2020. If you have your CJs in front of you, all you have to do is write Greek mythology in your CJs today, but I will make sure to also post that on the assignment for today to make sure that you have the correct thing in your CJ. Today we are going to continue our Greek mythology unit. So yesterday we learned about the big three. So the big three is Zeus, Poseidon, and Hades. Hint, hint. The big three will be on your quiz. Please make sure you study and you pay attention to all the details, because on Friday I will ask you on your quiz, who are the big three? Zeus, Poseidon, Hades. So go ahead and grab your notes page. That is the Word document. You got it yesterday. You filled in the blank. You're going to continue doing that today. So go ahead and find that page for you right now. And if you need some time to find it, go ahead and pause this video so that you have time to get it. The first thing that you're going to do is you are going to need a pencil and that notes page, because you're going to take notes as I explain it. So once again, if you need time to find that, go ahead and pause this video and you are going to find it in front of you. So yesterday we talked about the Greek gods and goddesses. We started with the big three. So as a reminder, a myth is a traditional story, especially one about the early history of a group of people or explaining some natural or social phenomenon, and typically involving supernatural beings and events. Here are some synonyms, and remember, a synonym means something that has the same meaning. So for example, a synonym would be thin and skinny. They're two different words, but they mean the same thing. So some synonyms for myth would be folk tale, folk story, legend, tale, and fable. We're going to talk about that a little bit today. So this is our guy Poseidon we learned about yesterday, and he is holding a trident. Hopefully you remember that there are 3 prongs to a trident, because tri means 3. So as a refresher, Poseidon means god of the sea, rivers, flood, drought, and earthquakes. Along with Zeus and Hades, he was considered one of the big 3 most important gods. His symbols of power are his trident, and his sacred animals are a horse and the dolphin. And as a reminder, sacred animals means what animals symbolize this specific Greek god. And the animals that symbolize, because symbol was a spelling word, so you all should know how to spell it and what it means. So the sacred animals that symbolize Poseidon are a horse and a dolphin. A dolphin, of course, because it's in the water. Here's our guy Zeus. You can see in the background there, he's at Mount Olympus. And he is the king and father of the gods, the ruler of Mount Olympus. Mount Olympus is kind of like the capital of the gods. That's where they all live. And the god of the sky, weather, thunder, lightning, law, order, and justice. He overthrew his father Cronus to become the most powerful Olympian. His symbols of power would be a lightning bolt, and his sacred animal is an eagle and a bull. Eagle and a bull. This is our guy. His name's Hades. If you've seen Hercules, he looks a little bit different than the Disney Hercules. But behind him is his sacred animal, creature, whatever you want to call it, the Cerberus. It's a 3-headed dog. Hades is the god of the underworld and the dead, and the god of the regret. Along with Zeus and Poseidon, he was considered one of the big 3 most important gods. His symbol of power would be a cornucopia, which you see during Thanksgiving, and the helm of darkness. Sacred animals would be a screech owl and a Cerberus. And of course, a screech owl, screech is a sound, and an owl is a flying bird. And then Cerberus is a dog with 3 heads. Here is our next Greek god and goddess. This one would be a goddess because she's female. And I want you to notice a couple of things. Notice her staff right here, the snake at the bottom, the owl on her shoulder, her shield, and then the winged horse. Maybe you've heard of her before. Maybe you haven't, which is totally fine too. This is Athena. So go ahead and find Athena on your note pages that you have in front of you. Athena is the goddess of intelligence, skill, peace, battle, strategy, and wisdom. And legend has it is that she was born from Zeus's head. Now, she's the goddess of intelligence and skill, peace, battle, strategy. So all of those symbols that we saw before were very important to what she has. So battle, we saw that she was having a shield, peace, maybe it's a peace owl on her shoulder. Make sure you have this written in your notes. If you want to go ahead and pause this video, and then you can write that down in your notes. Her symbols are a shield and a spear, which is what she was holding. Her sacred animal is an owl. So make sure you have all of this down in your notes. Okay, I'm going to move on, which is okay. If you need more time, just go ahead and pause this video. Here's our next one. Well, so let's do a review of Athena. So here you can see this is her owl is the symbol right here. And then it's an arrow or a staff. Here's her shield. And I think she looks very intelligent and smart from here. She is the goddess of intelligence, skill, peace, battle, strategy, and wisdom, born from Zeus's head. Her symbols are a shield and a spear. Her sacred animal is an owl. Here's our next goddess. Notice a couple of different things here on the picture. What she is holding, she's holding a calf, which is a baby cow. Then there's also a peacock at the bottom here. Okay, beautiful picture of this goddess. This goddess is called Hera. So make sure you find Hera on your note page. Hera is the queen of the gods and goddess of marriage, women, kings, and empires. She is the wife of Zeus. So Hera is Zeus's wife. So that means that she's the queen because Zeus is the king of the gods. And the goddess of marriage, kings and empires, wife of Zeus. Her symbols is a lotus-tipped staff. A lotus is a flower. Her sacred animals are a heifer, a cow, which was the calf that she was holding in the previous picture, and a peacock. A peacock is a very beautiful bird. So go ahead and write that down in your note page, making sure that you have all of these different things down. So we've learned about our first two goddesses. To make sure that your notes follow along and they're nice and neat so that when you have to study for your Greek mythology questions or quiz you might have, make sure that you have this there. Okay, so I'm going to move on. So you can go ahead and pause if you haven't finished writing that down. Here's our next one. Let's look here. This is one of the cooler pictures I have. So this is another Greek god. Look at his helmet. His helmet right here. Lots of armor and shield and his tool here. Okay, lots of different things. I think he looks kind of powerful in this picture. Okay. This Greek god is Ares. It's not Ares. You pronounce his name as Ares. He is the god of war, bloodshed, and violence. His symbol of power is his helmet and spear or sword, which is what we saw in that picture. And then his sacred animals, he has a few. Vulture, which is a huge bird. Snakes, dogs, and boars. A boar is a type of wild pig. So let's go ahead and copy this down. You could see that he looked kind of intimidating in that picture because he was the god of violence and war. So we have now talked about 3 new Greek gods and goddesses. So I'm going to go ahead and start this PowerPoint over to review what ones we have talked about. So the Greek gods and goddesses we have learned about. First, we're going to talk about the big 3. We know Poseidon, he's the god of the sea, rivers, floods. He's part of the big 3. He has a trident, and we know our guy Zeus, and we just found out who Zeus is married to. So Zeus is the king and father of all of the gods, the ruler of Mount Olympus and the god of the sky, thunder, lightning, law, order, and justice. He overthrew his father Cronus to become the most powerful Olympian. His symbol of power is a lightning bolt because he's the god of the sky. Sacred animals are an eagle and a bull. Here's Hades. Hades is the god of the underworld and the dead and the god of regret. Along with Zeus and Poseidon, he's the big 3. Those 3 guys are our big 3 Greek gods. His symbols of power, of course, are cornucopia and helm of darkness, sacred animals, screech owl, and Cerberus. Here is our first goddess we learned about. She has a spear right there in her hand and an owl on her shoulder. There's her shield. And if you guys remember from Hercules too, which is a great depiction of Greek mythology, this is Pegasus, a winged horse. Her shield is right here. And Athena is the goddess of intelligence, skill, peace, battle, strategy, and wisdom. And she was born from Zeus's head. Symbols are shield and spear. Her sacred animal is an owl. We have our next Greek goddess. This is Hera. Hera is the queen of the gods and goddess of marriage, women, kings, and empires, and she's the wife of Zeus. Her symbol is a lotus-tipped staff, and her sacred animals are a heifer, which is the cow, and a peacock. Here's Ares again, his very intimidating picture. Ares is the god of war, bloodshed, and violence. Symbols are helmet, spear, or sword. His sacred animals are vulture, snakes, dogs, and boars. So today, what you are going to do is the first thing, you're going to make sure that you keep your notes safe because you're supposed to have 2 days worth of notes now. Okay, so please make sure that you have that. You are going to go ahead and write your own fable. Now I'm going to explain, sorry, folktale. I didn't mean fable. So on your assignment today, I have attached a diagram that's called folktales tree diagram. Now let me show you that the first page shows up blank for some reason. I'm not sure why. But you just have to scroll down, and here are different examples of folktales. So, of course, we are talking about myths. So you are going to know for sure what a myth is, and you're going to get so used to myths, okay? So with myths, it's god and goddesses, supernatural powers. It often teaches a lesson or explains natural phenomena, usually set in ancient times. Examples, Hercules, Perseus, and Medusa. So we're talking about myths. Today, I want you to write your own folk tale in your composition notebook. You can choose to write a fairy tale, a fable, or a tall tale. So let's look at fairy tales. Fairy tales often have once upon a time, good versus evil, magic, fairies and other mystical creatures, royalty, so maybe there's kings and queens, a villain. Good prevails. That means that usually people or characters who are good usually end up being the hero. Happily ever after. An example of this is Cinderella. So you can choose to write a fairy tale today if you want, Or you could choose to write a fable. In fables, a lot of the time animals are characters, so kind of like Shrek with the talking donkey. Donkey is a character, even though he's an animal. It teaches a lesson or a moral. If you remember the story, The Tortoise and the Hare, it's about a hare or a rabbit who races a tortoise. The rabbit got so confident and stopped to talk to everyone because he said he was going to win, when in reality, the tortoise won because he just was focused on the race and didn't think about anything else and bragging. So that teaches you a moral of the story. Short stories, it's not very long. Usually there's one or two main characters. Moral is something that is stated at the end of a story. An example of a fable would be Aesop, which we will talk about later on. We've already talked about myths, and then tall tales, often based in historical fact with fantastic and unbelievable parts added to the story. Typically one central main character, usually set in America a long time ago. Example is John Henry. So today you are going to go ahead and write your own folk tale in your composition notebook. You can choose from any of those in that diagram I just showed you. I have posted what your what your composition notebook should look like. In your composition notebook, you should have today's date, which is September 22nd. Write your own folk tale. I've posted a picture of what it should look like. And please remember that this is for your notebook check, and that's a project grade, which is worth a lot of points. Okay? And as always, if you have any questions, you can go ahead and message me. Today, you have to do spelling menus, which I have posted in your assignment. Use yesterday's spelling word list and the spelling menu on your assignment so that you can do it today too. Two different spelling menus. You need to watch this video with the notes, which hopefully you already have done since you're here now. And then you have to write your own folk tale in your composition notebook. Lots to do today, but you guys are so smart and hard workers, and I'm confident you can do it, okay? That's what you have to do today. Message Ms. Peterson if you have any questions. Bye.